Be me, Pascal, 21 years old, college junior, currently dying under the weight of my own cheapness. This all started a month ago. My roommate Roderick and I bought tickets to an indie rock festival out in the middle of the desert, $200 each, non-refundable. 2 days before we are supposed to leave, Roderick eats bad dining hall shrimp. He spends 48 hours throwing up. He looks like a ghost that just saw another ghost. He tells me to go without him. I cannot afford to lose $200. I am practically paying for tuition in loose change and dining hall swipes. I go to the university rideshare board online. I post offering one open seat in my busted Honda CR-V, asking to split gas money. I figure some random stoner will reply. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzes on my desk. It vibrates against a stack of unread textbooks. I look at the screen. It is Freya. I know Freya from a massive 400-person lecture hall. She is 5'2" and entirely blonde. She exclusively wears pastel colors. She has the kind of enthusiasm that makes me want to hide behind furniture. The text is practically screaming at me. OMG, yes, I am going to. I will pay for gas, I promise. I stare at the text for 2 full minutes. I weigh my options. Option A is driving alone and eating the gas cost. Option B is putting up with Freya for 4 hours. I figure it will be fine. She is annoying, but harmless. I text back and tell her I will pick her up at her dorm at 6 on Friday morning. Friday arrives. It is dark and freezing. I pull up to the curb outside the freshman dorms. My car heater smells like burning dust. I am holding a lukewarm coffee from a gas station. I am mentally preparing myself for noise. The heavy glass doors of the dorm swing open. Freya comes out dragging 3 massive duffel bags. They are bright pink and look heavier than she is. Then someone else walks out behind her. She is tall, at least 5'10". She has dark hair pulled back in a messy claw clip. She is wearing an oversized gray hoodie and dark jeans. She takes up space without asking permission. She has absolutely no expression on her face. I roll down my window as they walk up to the curb. Hey Freya, who is this? Freya heaves her bags into my trunk like she is burying a body. She leans into my window. She is way too close to my face. She smells aggressively like a vanilla and strawberry chapstick. This is Juniper, my best friend. I told her I found a ride and she decided to come too. You do not mind, right? We share everything. I look past Freya to Juniper. Juniper does not say anything. She just gives me a single slow nod. I should have said no. I should have told them my car could not handle the weight. I should have driven away into the dark. Instead, I just swallow the anxiety building in my throat. I unlock the back doors. Freya climbs into the back. Juniper climbs into the back next to her. The drive begins. It is excruciating. Freya talks the entire time. She talks about her astrology chart. She talks about campus drama with people I do not know. She talks about girls in her sorority who she secretly hates. She talks about the emotional meaning of amethyst crystals. She talks about how her mom does not understand her vision for her dorm room. I just make quiet survival noises. Yeah, crazy. Wow. Juniper says absolutely nothing, but she watches me. Every time I check the rearview mirror, her eyes are locked on mine. It is not aggressive. It is not flirtatious. It is just entirely focused. She is watching me drive like she is studying for an exam. About 2 hours and Freya gets hungry. She pulls a massive bag of gummy worms out of her backpack. She starts eating them loudly. Then, without looking, she holds one out behind her seat. Juniper leans forward and takes it from her hand. She eats it wordlessly. They do this 3 times. Like it is a completely normal household routine. Like they are a single organism feeding itself. I grip the steering wheel tighter and question every choice I have ever made. We pull over at a dirty gas station off the highway. I get out to pump gas. The wind is blowing dust into my eyes. Freya gets out and stretches. She walks over to me while the pump is running. She reaches up and brushes a smudge of dirt off my cheek with her thumb. It is way too intimate. It is way too familiar. I freeze entirely. I do not know what to do with my hands. Then a cold can suddenly appears in my right hand. I look down. It is my favorite brand of energy drink, the exact weird flavor I always get on long drives. I turn around. Juniper is standing right behind me. She is holding a plastic bag with some snacks and a receipt. You look tired. She says it so calmly, it almost sounds like a medical diagnosis. Freya frowns and drops her hand from my face. I was going to go inside and get him coffee. Coffee makes him jittery. Juniper replies without blinking. His hands shake. I look down at my hands. They are, in fact, shaking slightly. I have no idea how she knows that. I have spoken maybe 10 words to this girl in my entire life. We get back in the car. We make it to the festival town around midnight. I am exhausted. My back hurts. I pull into the parking lot of the absolute cheapest motel I could find online. The neon sign is buzzing loudly. We walk into the lobby. The guy at the front desk looks at me. He looks at the two girls behind me. He gives me a deeply uncomfortable knowing nod. I want to sink into the floor and die. I get the key to the room. I open the door. There is one bed. It is a queen-size mattress that sags in the middle. I stand in the doorway holding my duffel bag. Freya immediately throws her bags onto the bed. I will take the armchair. I point to the stained floral chair in the corner. Juniper drops her bag on the carpet. I will take the floor. She says it like it is an established fact. Freya pouts and sits cross-legged on the bed. She turns off the bedside lamp. The room is completely dark. The only light is coming through the terrible thin curtains. I sit in the uncomfortable chair. I listen to the highway noise outside. Freya speaks into the dark. "Are you seeing anyone, Pascal?" Her voice sounds oddly small. "No," I say it quietly. "Good," Juniper says from the floor. It sends a cold shiver down my spine. Freya rolls over on the bed. She starts explaining their rule. She explains it completely calmly, like she is telling me how to cook rice. We share everything. It avoids fights. It keeps things simple. My brain just stops working. I sit in the chair and stare into the darkness. I do not sleep a single minute that night. The next morning, the silence in the car is different. It is heavier. It feels like something is pressing down on my chest. Juniper takes the passenger seat this time. She does not ask. She just opens the door and sits down. Freya sulks in the back seat. Nobody turns on the radio. Nobody talks. About 30 miles outside of the festival grounds, Freya gets bored. She leans forward between the front seats. She rests her chin directly on my right shoulder. Her blonde hair tickles my neck. I keep my eyes glued to the white lines on the road. Then Juniper reaches over the center console. She places her hand firmly on my right knee. She does not squeeze. She just leaves it there, still and deliberate. I am sweating through my t-shirt. I focus on breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. Then I hear a loud pop. Steam instantly billows out from under the hood. My dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree. I wrestle the car onto the gravel shoulder. The radiator hose is completely blown. There is green coolant pooling under the engine. We are stranded. We are literally in the middle of the desert. There is no cell service. There are no buildings. It is just sand and scrub brush and heat. I sit on the hood of the car with my head in my hands. I am panicking about how much this is going to cost. Freya sits next to me and kicks her legs. Juniper leans against the bumper and watches the empty road. Hours pass. The sun starts to go down. The temperature drops insanely fast. By nightfall, it is freezing cold. We climb into the back seat to stay out of the wind. We only have one blanket. It is a cheap fleece throw from my trunk. We huddle together under it. Freya curls her entire body into my left side. She tucks her cold hands under my arm. Juniper leans heavily against my right shoulder. I am completely pinned between them. My heart is pounding so hard, I am worried they can hear it. I feel like I have been declared prey by wild animals. Freya starts giggling. This is just like one of those survival shows. She says it like we are at a sleepover. Juniper adjusts her head on my shoulder. It is cozy. Freya looks up at me in the dark. "Who do you like more, Pascal?" She asks it completely seriously. I refuse to answer. I just stare straight ahead at the back of the driver's seat. I pray for death or a tow truck. 2 hours later, a flatbed tow truck appears over the hill. The amber lights look like divine intervention. The driver is a guy named Eugene who smells like stale tobacco. He hooks up my car. He tells us he has to take it to a shop 3 towns over. We ride in the cab of the tow truck. It is cramped. Freya sits on my lap because there are not enough seatbelts. Juniper sits next to us and holds my hand the entire ride. I do not pull my hand away. I am too tired to fight it. We get to the mechanic. The shop is closed. I have to drop the keys in a night box. I have to leave my car there. We walk to a Greyhound bus station. We buy 3 tickets back to campus. The bus ride is 12 hours long. I think distance will end whatever this is. I think once we get back to school, they will forget about me. We arrive on campus on Sunday afternoon. We walk off the bus. I am carrying my duffel bag. Freya hugs me tightly. She presses her face into my chest. Juniper takes my hand again and squeezes it once. Then they walk away toward their dorm. I go back to my room. Roderick is lying on the couch drinking ginger ale. He asks how the festival was. I tell him my car died, and we never made it. I do not mention the girls. I sleep for 14 hours straight. I think it is over. I am an idiot. Monday morning, I go to my job at the campus library. I work at the circulation desk. It is a quiet job. I just scan books and tell freshmen where the bathrooms are. I am sitting there reading a textbook. Someone drops a heavy stack of art history books on the desk. I look up. It is Freya. She is wearing a pink sweater. She smiles at me like we have been married for 5 years. "Hey, boyfriend." She says it loud enough for the entire reading room to hear. 2 students, sitting at a computer, turn around and stare at me. I feel my face get completely hot. "Freya, what are you doing here?" She just giggles and walks around the counter. She stands right next to my chair. Then Juniper walks up to the desk. She is wearing my gray hoodie. I did not even know I left it in her dorm. She sets a large iced coffee down next to my keyboard. She slides it toward me. "We got it for you." She says it quietly. I look at the cup. It has oat milk and 2 pumps of vanilla. It is exactly how I drink it. I have never told either of them my coffee order. They pull up 2 chairs. They sit on either side of me behind the circulation desk. My manager walks out of the back office. She looks at them. She looks at me. "Are they training today, Pascal?" my manager asks, looking confused. "No," Freya answers for me. "We are just keeping him company until his shift ends at 4. I look at the clock. It is noon. I never told them my work schedule. They sit there for 4 hours. They do not talk much. Freya plays games on her phone. Juniper reads a paperback novel. Every 20 minutes, Freya reaches over and touches my arm. Juniper occasionally nudges my foot with her shoe. When my shift ends, they walk me back to my dorm. They text me that night from a group chat. They name the chat ours. The texts always use the word we. "We hope you are sleeping well. We liked your shirt today. We are making pasta tomorrow, come over." I am currently hiding in my dorm room with the blinds drawn. I ignore the pasta text. I figure if I ignore them, they will go away. Tuesday comes. I skip my morning class because I am terrified they are waiting outside. I stay in my room playing video games. Around 1 in the afternoon, there is a loud knock on my door. Roderick is at class. I creep over to the door and look through the peephole. It is my older sister, Lorelei. I open the door. Lorelei is 26. She works at a non-profit and goes to therapy 3 times a week. She is deeply exhausting. She bursts into the room carrying a large tote bag. She drops it on my floor. "Pascal, our mother told me your car broke down. Why did you not call me?" I tell her I handled it. I tell her it is at a shop. She starts pacing around my messy room. She starts picking up empty water bottles and throwing them away. "You are not holding space for your own needs. You are letting chaos dictate your peace." She says this kind of stuff constantly. She means well, but she drives me insane. She tells me she is taking me out to dinner tonight. She says I look too thin and I need a hot meal. I agree just to get her to stop pacing. I sit down on my bed. My phone buzzes. It is a text from the group chat. "We know your sister is visiting. We are coming to dinner too." My stomach drops into my shoes. How do they know my sister is visiting? I literally just found out 2 minutes ago. I try to text back and say, "No, it is just family." My phone buzzes before I can type. We are already at the restaurant. We got a table for 4. I look up at Lorelei. She is lecturing me about my laundry pile. "Lorelei, we have to go to the diner on 4th Street. She looks confused. "I thought we were going to the Italian place." I tell her plans changed. We walk to the diner. I am sweating through my jacket. We walk inside. I see them immediately. They are sitting in a red vinyl booth in the back. Freya is waving enthusiastically. Juniper is already looking at me. Lorelei stops walking. "Pascal, who are those girls?" I do not know how to answer. I just mumble that they are friends from the road trip. We walk over to the booth. I sit down next to Juniper. Lorelei sits across from us next to Freya. Lorelei immediately crosses her arms. She puts on her serious mediator face. "So how do you two know my brother?" Freya smiles brightly. "We share him." She says it completely casually. Lorelei chokes on her own spit. She coughs loudly into her napkin. "Excuse me." Lorelei looks horrified. Juniper slides a glass of water toward Lorelei. "We are together," Juniper says calmly. "All 3 of us." Lorelei looks at me. Her eyes are the size of dinner plates. "Pascal, what is she talking about? You are engaging in a toxic triad dynamic. Have you established healthy boundaries with these young women?" I bury my face in my hands. I want to die right here in this diner booth. Freya leans forward. She looks Lorelei dead in the eyes. Actually, Lorelei, we are very intentional about our boundaries. We make sure Pascal feels emotionally supported. We hold space for his anxiety. Freya uses Lorelei's exact weird vocabulary. Lorelei slowly lowers her arms. She looks intrigued. You hold space for his anxiety? Yes, Juniper says without breaking eye contact. He internalizes his stress. We provide a grounding presence. I look at Juniper. I am terrified of her. She is playing my sister like a cheap fiddle. Lorelei nods slowly. She takes a sip of water. I see. Well, it is very mature of you to recognize his emotional deficits. For the next hour, Freya and Juniper completely charm my sister. They agree with everything Lorelei says about self-care. They promise to make sure I eat more vegetables. Lorelei even hands Freya one of her plastic Tupperware containers. It has leftover casserole in it. Make sure he eats this tomorrow, Lorelei says warmly. We will. Freya smiles. They leave the diner together. Lorelei hugs both of them. She tells me to text her later. I walk back to my dorm with Freya and Juniper. The streetlights are flickering. The air is cold. Juniper is wearing my jacket again. Freya is carrying the Tupperware container like it is a newborn baby. I feel completely defeated. The next day, reality hits me. The mechanic calls. The repair for the radiator and the hoses is going to be $900. I check my bank account. I have exactly $112. I start to panic. I skip my afternoon class. I walk over to the campus administration building. I go to the financial aid office. I need to see if I can get a short-term emergency student loan. I take a paper ticket from the dispenser. I sit in the hard plastic chairs in the waiting room. The room is full of stressed-out students. I stare at the carpet. Someone sits in the empty chair to my left. Someone else sits in the empty chair to my right. I do not even have to look up. I smell strawberry chapstick. What are we doing here, Pascal? Freya asks softly. I keep my eyes on the floor. My car is ready. I cannot pay for it. I need a loan. Juniper leans over. She unzips her black backpack. She pulls out a thick, white paper envelope. She places it forcefully on my lap. I look down at it. What is this? I ask her. We went to the bank, Juniper says calmly. We withdrew our savings. It is $1,000. I stare at the envelope. I feel completely sick. I cannot take your money. I try to hand the envelope back to her. Juniper refuses to take it. She keeps her hands folded in her lap. It is our car now. She says it like a judge reading a verdict. Freya nods enthusiastically. Yeah, Pascal. We are going to need it to go grocery shopping together. We cannot carry all the bags on the bus. My name gets called by the clerk at the desk. Number 42. I sit there completely frozen. I look at the envelope of cash. I look at the two girls sitting next to me. I miss my turn at the desk. We walk out of the administration building. I feel like I have crossed a point of no return. We take the bus back to the mechanic 3 towns over. I hand the greasy guy at the counter the cash. He counts it slowly. He hands me my keys. We walk out to my car. Juniper holds out her hand. She does not say anything. I know exactly what she wants. I hand her the car keys. She gets into the driver's seat. Freya gets into the passenger seat. I am relegated to the back seat of my own vehicle. Juniper adjusts the mirrors. She drives us back to campus perfectly. She does not speed. She uses her turn signals. It is infuriatingly safe. A week passes. My life is no longer my own. They start showing up at my dorm every single night. Roderick, my roommate, has completely accepted it. He thinks it is hilarious. He plays Mario Kart with Freya while Juniper cleans our tiny kitchen. She throws away my expired milk. She organizes my pantry. She buys a new dish sponge. I find receipts in my jacket pockets for things I did not buy. Groceries, toothpaste, a new shower curtain for my bathroom. I try to assert dominance over my own life. I tell them I am busy on Friday night. I tell them I am going out with my actual friends, the guys from my intramural soccer team. Freya frowns but does not argue. Juniper just stares at me. Friday night arrives. I go to the campus dining hall to meet the guys. It is packed. It is loud and smells like cheap pizza. I get my tray and find my friends at a large round table. I sit down. I start eating my fries. I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around. It is Freya. She is holding a tray with 3 slices of pie on it. Juniper is standing right behind her, holding 2 glasses of water. We brought dessert, Freya announces loudly. My friends all stop talking. They stare at Freya. They stare at Juniper. They stare at me. One of my friends, Soren, smirks. Who are the girls, Pascal? Freya slams her tray down on the table. We are his girlfriends. She says it with absolute terrifying pride. The entire table goes dead silent. A guy at the next table turns around to look. Soren starts laughing hysterically. You have 2 girlfriends. You cannot even afford new shoes, man. My face is burning. I want the floor to open up and swallow me. I look at Juniper. She is totally unfazed. She places a glass of water gently in front of me. She pulls up a chair from another table. She sits down directly next to me. She nudges my knee under the table. Drink your water, she whispers. I drink the water. My friends spend the next hour making fun of me. Freya argues with them. She defends my honor loudly. She tells Soren his aura is muddy and he needs to be cleansed. Juniper mostly stays quiet, but every time Soren makes a mean joke about me, Juniper glares at him. Her glare is so intense, Soren actually stops talking mid-sentence. I realize something weird. My friends are being jerks. Freya and Juniper are entirely on my side. They are unhinged. They are intrusive. They are borderline terrifying. But they actually care about me. The dinner ends. We walk out into the cold night air. My friends go off to a frat party. I walk slowly back toward my dorm. Freya wraps her scarf around my neck because I am shivering. Juniper walks closely beside me to block the wind. The semester starts coming to an end. My dorm lease is up in 2 weeks. I have to move all my stuff out. I ask my soccer friends if they can help me pack and move. They all make excuses. Soren says he has to study. Graham says his back hurts. I am sitting in my room surrounded by cardboard boxes. I am feeling incredibly sorry for myself. My phone buzzes. It is the group chat. We rented a U-Haul. We are outside. I walk out to the parking lot. There is a massive moving truck idling in the lot. Juniper is sitting in the driver's seat. She rolls down the window. She is wearing my gray hoodie again. Freya jumps out of the passenger side. She runs up and hugs me. She is holding a large iced coffee, oat milk, 2 pumps of vanilla. She hands it to me. We brought tape, Freya says proudly. I stand there holding the coffee. I look at the truck. I look at these 2 completely crazy girls. They spent their own money to rent a truck for me. They spent their Saturday morning coming to help me. My actual friends ghosted me. I take a sip of the coffee. It tastes perfect. I walk back up to my room with them. Juniper picks up 2 heavy boxes of books without breaking a sweat. Freya starts frantically taping a box of loose cables. We spend 3 hours loading the truck. They do not complain once. They just work. They bicker about where things should go in the truck. Juniper tells Freya she is stacking things terribly. Freya calls Juniper a control freak. I just stand by the truck bed and watch them. They are a total mess, but they are my mess now. We finish loading everything. I lock the door to my old dorm room. I hand the keys to the front desk. We walk out to the U-Haul. I climb into the middle seat. Juniper gets behind the wheel. Freya gets in the passenger seat. Freya immediately rests her head on my shoulder. Juniper reaches over and puts her hand on my knee. She puts the truck in drive. We pull out of the parking lot. I do not feel trapped anymore. I am just incredibly tired. We drive toward my new apartment. The heater is blasting. Freya is singing along to the radio. Juniper is quietly watching the road. I close my eyes. Moving boxes stacked in the back.